Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Ikara, there lived two beautiful sisters named Eno and Idara. Eno was the older one. She was 2 years older than her sister, but they looked and behaved like twin sisters. Eno and Idara both loved themselves dearly. However, they were very different. Whereas Eno had to struggle for every single thing in life, Idara enjoyed favor and things came to her very easily. Eno had to write WAEC twice before she passed and even wrote JAMB 3 times before she could get admission into the university. Meanwhile, her younger sister Idara would usually pass all her exams in one sitting. As a matter of fact, she even got admission before her older sister. Idara and Eno both went to the same university, and even in school, everyone favored Idara. They all liked her. It was as though Eno was invisible. But Eno did not bother. She was already used to being the least favored one. A few years later, and they had both graduated from the university. And as usual, Idara's life was very easy for her. As a matter of fact, she got a high-paying job in less than 2 months after she graduated, and thereafter even moved to the big city, Lagos, to start up her new life. But her older sister Eno could not get a job despite her best efforts. So while Idara was busy living the big girl lifestyle in Lagos and enjoying her life, her older sister Eno was still living in their mother's home and going from one unsuccessful job interview to the other. Eno was very sad. She was always in tears. She wondered why she had to be the unlucky one, why she was not as lucky as her younger sister. And 3 years down the line, things had not changed for Eno. She was still very jobless, living with her parents and eating their meals. Meanwhile, her younger sister Idara was already in a very serious relationship with a wealthy man named Ame. Ame worshipped the very ground that Idara walked upon. And barely 3 months after they started dating, Idara and Ame both got married in a very lavish wedding ceremony. Idara was so happy. Her husband spoiled her silly. He pampered her and always tried his best to make his wife happy. Yes, Eno was happy for her sister, but within her, she somehow wished that her life was progressing, even if it was just 20% of the progress that Idara's life was taking. And barely 1 year after Idara got married to her husband, she took in, and some time afterwards, she gave birth to twin beautiful babies, a boy and a girl. Idara was so happy, and her husband Ame bought a mansion for her as a push gift to show his appreciation for giving him two healthy babies. So one day, Idara called her older sister over the phone and said, "Hi Eno, I was thinking, since you do not have a job yet and you're not really doing anything substantial back at home, I was thinking if you could come and stay with me for a while in Lagos so you could assist me in looking after the children. I know, yes, I have several helps, but it's not the same thing as having your own blood around. You know that you cannot trust these people nowadays. Besides, I promise you that if you agree to come, I'll put in a good word for you with my husband and see if he can use one of his connections and secure a job for you," Idara said convincingly. Then Eno just replied Idara and told her that she was going to think about it. Eno did not even know whether she was to be happy or upset. Look at my life. Almost 6 years after graduation and nothing to show for it. No job. All the businesses I have tried starting have failed woefully. Oh yeah, what of marriage, Uncle? No man is asking to be my boyfriend. Not to talk of even marrying me. My life is just stagnant. That is why my younger sister Idara has the guts to invite me over to her home to come and become a glorified nanny. And no. So this is what your life has been reduced to. Hi! And no. Eno said aloud to herself, tears streaming down her eyes. So the following day, Eno called her sister Idara and told her that she was going to come over. Idara was so happy and thanked her sister profusely. So the following day, Eno flew down to Lagos. When she got to her sister's house, she was very shocked. Idara's house was very beautiful and reeked of money. So my sister is living in this kind of magnificent house with all these beautiful cars and maids at her beck and call. My sister is a big woman, no. Eno thought to herself while staring at the house like a naive girl who had just come from the village. Idara was so happy to see her and welcomed her happily. Ame, Idara's husband, made her feel very comfortable. Eno was very happy. She was living like royalty, and she cared for her nephew and niece with so much pride. The first few weeks she spent in her sister's house, everything seemed to be going on just fine. But then Eno began to notice some changes in her sister Idara and her husband Ame. She saw that her sister Idara was not a good wife to her husband, or even a good mother to her children. Idara did not even know what was happening in her home or to her children. Idara completely left the running of her home to her domestic staff. It was her maids that planned what to cook in her home and cooked the food, and even served her own husband. It was even the maids that bathed and fed her children. They were even also the ones that kept the children's immunization dates and even took them to the hospital for their immunization. Idara literally had no idea how her children were taken care of. Idara was free-spirited and would go out to clubs at night, partying, drinking, and dancing with several young men. Eno was very shocked and did not know that her sister lived such a carefree and careless life. Eno pitied her sister's husband Ame because he seemed very sad. Eno had seen Ame not once, twice, or even thrice, kneeling and begging his wife, saying, Idara, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to us? Am I not enough for you? I thought that after you become a mother, you will stop all this carefree lifestyle and start caring for us, your family, and start being a wife and a mother, but nothing seemed to have changed. Ame would say, crying and pleading with his wife. And instead of his wife to be remorseful, or at least pretend to be, she would scream at him and say, what is it? What is it? Do you want to cage me? In short, I'm tired of this marriage. I'm leaving. After all, the children are not even yours. Idara would scream angrily at her husband, and Ame would immediately fall flat on his face and cry and beg, saying, please, my love, I'm sorry for questioning you. Please, please do not leave us. I know that you're just angry. You just said the children are not mine out of anger. Ame would say, pleading. Eno was shocked at what her eyes had witnessed in her sister's home. This life no balance. Oh, see me praying to God to send me any man, and see my sister here taking for granted the good man that God has given her, treating him like trash, and even threatening him that the children are not his. What kind of woman does such a thing? Hey, now wow. Eno would say, looking very disappointed. And later that day, Ame bought beautiful jewelry sets for his wife as a way of apologizing to her. He always bought her gifts after every argument, just to say sorry and to restore peace in their home. So as Eno spent more time in her sister's home, she began to see even more things that made her very upset with her sister. Apparently, Ame would usually beg his wife to even fulfill her marital obligations to him, but she would still refuse. Eno was starving her husband. And as if that was not enough, Eno discovered that her sister Idara had a secret lover. Eno had sneaked in on Ame, praying fervently for his wife to change. Eno felt really bad for her brother-in-law, so she decided to speak to her sister. So one day she called Idara and said, Idara, what you're doing to your husband is unfair. He is a good man and does not deserve to be treated the way you treat him. If it were some other men, they would have thrown you out of their home by now. You have a good man and two healthy children to build a home with. Please do not throw it away over your childishness. Do not take your husband's love for granted. Love him back, please, I beg you. Eno said, looking very worried. I cannot believe that you, Eno, think that you have the right to advise me on marriage. One that shall never end. I know, yes, you're my older sister and all that, but come on now, you are not married. Can you even remember the last time that you were in a relationship or even felt the touch of a man? Please, 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 don't even start all that with me. This is my home, my husband, and my children. And I'll treat my husband as I wish. And do not forget your place here. You're simply a guest. If you do not like the way I treat my husband, when you marry your own, treat him as you like. Idara said as she walked out angrily on her sister. Eno felt very bad for her brother-in-law Ame because Ame was always sad. Sometimes he would even sit in the parlor crying and weeping. Ame was too gentle and he loved his wife Idara too dearly, and she knew it. That was why she abused it. Sometimes Idara would even go out for days and come back, let's say, after 3 days. Yet Ame would not do anything about it. He would not even be able to question her. Eno could see that Ame was dying slowly, so she decided to step in. So Eno began spending much time with her brother-in-law, Ame, just gisting and talking with him and trying to lift his spirits. They would sit for hours laughing and eating. Eno would even enter the kitchen and cook delicious native meals for Ame. Ame was so happy. And to appreciate his sister-in-law Eno, he began to buy gifts for her. In short, they began to even go out together with the twins as though they were family. They would spend quality time together. Meanwhile, Idara did not know because, of course, she was always out and about, from one club to the other, or even in her lover's home. And soon enough, Ame began to develop feelings for his sister-in-law. He knew that this was wrong, but he couldn't help himself because Eno was sweet, homely, and kind. He wished he had met her first. However, one day, Eno was sitting very close to her brother-in-law Ame, and they were busy laughing and gisting as usual, when suddenly Idara walked in on them. She stared at them and she could see a spark of connection between them. And for a minute, jealousy rose up in her. Hi, baby, Idara said as she walked up to her husband and sat beside him. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that you were around, Eno said as she stood up. Then Ahmed turned to his wife Idara and said, I'm tired, my dear. I need to go inside, Ahmed said as he stood up and walked out of the parlor. Then Eno faced her sister and said, what in God's name do you think you're doing with my husband? Why were you gisting and laughing with your 32 teeth open with my husband? Are you okay? Idara asked, fuming in anger. How can you say a thing like that now, Idara? We're just gisting, talking, nothing serious. Eno replied, looking hurt. Well, get ready to go back to our parents' house tomorrow, first thing in the morning, because I cannot be harboring a snake under my roof. Oh, you think that I do not know what you're trying to do, Abi? All those advice you're saying, Idara, please treat him well, please treat him well. Oh, so you have started developing feelings for my husband, Abi? Under my very roof. You're a liar. You must be a joker. Idara screamed angrily. And Ame, who by this time had not yet reached his room, turned back and walked straight to the parlor and said, who are you saying is leaving my house? Hey, is this your house? If there is anyone that should leave my house, it should be you. You are a terrible wife and a terrible mother. I do not even know how I put up with you for this long. Your sister is everything you are not and that you can never be. And I wish that I had met her before you. Ame screamed angrily at his wife, Idara. Idara could not believe her ears. At this point, she broke down in tears and said, hey, help, somebody help me, help me. My sister has snatched my husband from me. My sister has used jazz on my husband. Oh! Idara wailed loudly. So the following day, Ame took his children to run a DNA test on them because each time he quarreled with his wife, she would scream at him and tell him that he was not even the father to their children. So Ame needed to be sure if they were really his or not. So a few days after that, and the results were out, the twins were not his. From the hospital, Ame drove straight to Ikara and dropped the twin babies with her parents. And as soon as he got back home, he pursued his wife out of his house. Idara screamed and pleaded, saying, my love, it is me, oh. It is your Idara baby, the love of your life. Look at me, my love. Look into my eyes. Idara said, crying and pleading with her husband. But then Ame replied his wife and said, I wonder why it took me this long to see it. You have been taking my love for granted, taking my kindness and good nature all for granted, and I am done. I deserve to be loved too. And your sister has shown me what true love really means. So I'm done with this toxic marriage. Ame said to his wife angrily. And then Idara turned to her elder sister and said, no, please help me beg my husband. Please speak to my husband for me. No, do you want to be the reason that my husband sent me out of the house? Do you want to be the reason that my marriage crashes? Remember that we are not just sisters, but we used to be best friends too. Idara said, pleading and begging with her sister. But Ame quickly interjected and said, oh, please shut up. And do not drag your sister into this nonsense. Was it your sister that took you to nightclubs and parties? Was it also her that made you keep a lover? Was it also her that got pregnant for another man and pinned the children on me? Idara, for crying out loud, I loved you. I loved you so much. I would literally do anything for you. Yet you took it for granted. I am done. Go and meet your parents. I have sent the children there already. After all, I ran a DNA test and it shows that they are not even mine. So now you are free. What you've always wanted, now you have it. Go and live your carefree lifestyle under your parents' roof. I love Eno and she's going to be my wife. Ame barked angrily at Idara as he pushed her out of the house. Eno did not know how to feel in all of this because she knew that she had started developing feelings for Ame too. And she knew that Ame was a good man and that her sister had not truly been fair to him. So a few days later, and Ame asked Eno to please marry him. Everything was happening so quickly. Eno knew that it was wrong to accept the proposal, but accepted it regardless. She was scared because she's usually not lucky in life. She was scared that if she let Ame go, she would not find another man to marry her. Besides, she told herself that she was not responsible for her sister's actions. So a few weeks later, and Eno and Ame got married. Eno was so happy, and Ame was much happier. He hadn't felt so much love and peace in a long time, and he was glad that he sent his wife Idara away. This time, he spoiled Eno silly And a few months later, Emma got pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, and they were both very happy. Meanwhile, Idara was back in her parents' house, struggling with her twin babies. Almost every night, she laid awake crying and thinking. She knew that her husband was a good man and that she had taken his kindness for granted. She did not expect Ame, who was so good to her, to change overnight because of how soft and weak he was. But she realized that she deserved it. She wished that she could turn back the hands of time, but it was too late. Hi besties, it's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think? Do you think that Eno was the reason why Ame had the guts and the liver to finally stand up to his wife and send her away? Also, if you were Eno, would you really marry your sister's ex-husband? Like, even though your sister was bad to him, your sister was maltreating the man, beating him, cheating on him and all those stuff. If their marriage failed, would you really go and marry your sister's ex-husband? Like, is that right under any circumstance? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section, and please support your homegirl, Omalicha, by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye!